The film begins by showing a young man named Q, who is very popular at his school because he has a beautiful face and is very good at singing and playing the guitar. Q is very popular, not only with the girls, but also with the boys who want to make friends and join his group of popular students at school. One of the boys who really want to join Q's group is Big, a geeky student with glasses who is willing to do anything to be friends with Q, even though he already knows that Q and his friends are just playing with him. One day, Q told Big to take a turtle in a pond near the school and said that he would accept him into his group if he managed to catch the turtle. Big then tries to do what was ordered by Q. However, after he manages to catch the turtle and gets drenched because he had to plunge into the pool, Q and his friends make fun of him and reveal that he was just a prank. They never really wanted to accept him into their group. After that, when he was about to go home from school, Q met a fat girl with glasses named Kerr who was his junior. Kerr dared to express his love for Q. But Q refused her declaration of love and instead mocked her. Kerr, who was very annoyed with Q's treatment, then swore that one day, Q would fall in love with her, and if that happened, she would not accept his love, even though Q begged her while taking off all his clothes. But before we continue the video, we want to thank CyberGhost VPN for sponsoring this video. When was the last time you realized that a VPN could give you various exciting features, not only the safety of surfing the internet? CyberGhost VPN is the perfect choice for you since you can get an unprecedented variety of valuable features. Now you can keep your Google searches in private with real and organic search results without tracking your activity. Just like a shield, all the important stuff stays private and secure. CyberGhost VPN is more than just a VPN, it blocks all the malicious links, ads, and trackers, and notifies you when someone is trying to steal your data. You no longer need to worry about online crimes that are always at your site all the time. They also have a strict no logs policy, so no one will know about your online activity, not even CyberGhost themselves. Thanks to CyberGhost VPN, now you can access geo-restricted content from websites, YouTube, social media networks, find better deals online, and play games blocked in your region. Protect your identity by keeping your data encrypted, and even get blocked libraries of over 40 streaming services like Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime, Disney Plus, and many more. For more convenience in accessing various websites, you can use one subscription to protect up to 7 devices at a time, so you can share with your family and friends. There's a 45-day money-back guarantee and 24/7 customer support, so everything is risk-free. Right now, CyberGhost VPN is running a huge discount ever, just $2.23 a month, plus 4 months free, which is 83% off. There is no reason to miss an innovative VPN like CyberGhost VPN. Based on my experience, the integrated CyberGhost VPN features are a genius breakthrough. That's why it is the only VPN that offers a myriad of security and new experiences surfing the internet. So what are you waiting for? Join the more than 38 million users worldwide who are very satisfied with CyberGhost VPN. Don't forget to click on the description link to get the special offer. Remember, it's only $2.23 a month. Totally risk-free, so check it out now. Link in the description. A few years later, the grown-up Q is not popular, even though his face is quite handsome. Q and his best friend, Joe, work for a company that distributes water pumps as their main product. Surprisingly, the son of the company's owner is none other than Big, a geeky young man who used to be bullied by Q and his friends. Not only has Big changed drastically from a geeky young man to a dashing and handsome CEO, but Kerr has also shown many changes from a fat girl to a very beautiful young woman with an attractive physical appearance. Seeing the drastic change in Kerr, Q fell in love at first sight. But he has not dared to confess his love for her, even though he has loved her for the last 2 years. One day, Q sees Kerr, who has just come home from college and is driven home by a man who intends to date her. With the help of Joe, Q intends to keep Kerr away from the man. Q deliberately said bad things about Kerr to make the man feel bad and leave her. The strategy worked, and the man truly believed that Kerr wasn't the kind of woman he had thought she was. However, it turns out that not only one man is trying to date Kerr. A young businessman named Jeff also tries to make Kerr his girlfriend, even coming to Kerr's house to propose to her. Upon learning that, Q then pretended to be Kerr's brother and told Jeff that Kerr had actually died, and the Kerr that Jeff met was a wandering ghost. Due to an accidental incident, Jeff finally truly believed Q's words and chose to leave Kerr. The next day, Big finds out that Q works at his father's company, then tries to take revenge on him by treating Q arbitrarily, as he had done to him. Because Big is the son of the company owner, Q can't even disobey his orders and lets Big treat him arbitrarily. One night, Q, who was late, accidentally stumbled upon a romance site called My Name is Love. Out of curiosity, he then registered on the site. The next day, when Q boarded the train after coming home from work, he was surprised by the appearance of a middle-aged man named John, who said that he knew about Q, who registered on the romance site My Name Is Love. John gave Q a book and said he had now become the god of love. Upon hearing that, Q did not necessarily believe John and returned the book. Surprisingly, John suddenly disappeared and the book was miraculously in Q's hand. Even though Q couldn't see where John was, he could hear his voice telling him they would meet again the next day. The next day, John again appeared in front of Q and told about the mission that must be carried out by him as the god of love. Q must unite two people into a pair of lovers who love each other. However, Q cannot reveal his identity as the god of love or a matchmaker who wants to match them. Furthermore, John informed that the book is the mission book which contains the identity of the people who will be matched by Q. The book cannot be read by ordinary people, and only humans chosen to be the god of love can read the book's contents. At first, Q did not believe John's words and asked the people around him to see the book's contents. However, they said that the book was just a blank book without any writing. Not wanting to give up so easily, he then approached a bald man named Tom, who was repairing his broken motorbike. Surprisingly, Tom could read the book's contents, indicating that Tom was the god of love, just like him. After being absolutely sure that John had not lied to him, Q finally trusted John and decided to become the god of love. Q feels confident that he can easily complete all the missions in the book. However, Tom warns Q that as long as they are the god of love, they cannot express their love to anyone. Hearing this, Q ignored Tom's warning and said he would confess his love for the woman he loves. That evening, Q tries to meet Kerr at her house. Kerr had just come home from college and looked so panicked because she was being chased by a stalker. Kerr immediately approached Q, who was standing in front of her house, and while embracing Q's arm, Kerr told the man that Q was her boyfriend. Hearing Kerr's words, Q suddenly became confident and tried to express his love for her. But unexpectedly, Q instead said obscene words to Kerr, so she became very annoyed and slapped him. After that incident, Q finally believed Tom's words and was very sorry because he had already accepted the mission to become the god of love. Later, Q met Tom and John, who told them he still had a chance to return to being an ordinary human if he completed 4 love missions. If he has completed 4 missions, Q will be given a choice to remain the god of love or return to being an ordinary human. Q regains his fighting spirit and is determined to complete his love mission to express his love for Kerr. The next day, Q begins to draw up plans for his first mission. He boarded a train and tried to match a young couple who also boarded the same train. But due to an unintentional incident, the young man failed to express his love for his crush. And unexpectedly, the girl was even attracted to another nearby man. Because the first mission failed, Q then asked Tom for help. This time, they are trying to unite a middle-aged man named Jack, who has long harbored feelings of love for a woman named Rose. Tom then tells Jack that the woman he loves has terminal cancer and that she won't have much time to live, hoping that Jack will confess his love for Rose soon. As Jack rushed off immediately, Q and Tom assumed that their mission would be a success this time. However, how surprised they were when they saw a photo of Jack and Rose who got a cross, indicating that their mission had failed. Q and Tom immediately meet Jack, who apparently decided to become a monk because he could not love another woman besides Rose. A few days later, Q seems surprised that his next love mission involves Joe, his best friend, who turns out to be secretly in love with their co-worker, Milk. Q didn't think that Joe loved Milk at all because all this time Joe was always fighting with Milk. On the other hand, Q also doesn't think that Milk loves Joe for the same reason. He then looks for ways to get Joe to express his love for Milk. However, when Milk is nearby, Joe deliberately provokes her anger until they fight. Because Q always fails in carrying out missions, John then calls a man named Otto, who is famous for never failing to carry out his mission, as the god of love. John asks Otto to teach Q to carry out his mission. Otto was also willing to help Q and immediately showed his skills to make 2 people fall in love with each other and become lovers. With the help of Tom and Otto, Q finally succeeds in making 2 junior high school teenagers fall in love with each other, even saving the teenage boy from bullying by his schoolmates. On the next mission, Q must face a fierce man who is good at fighting named Raph. But then, he gets a call from Joe informing him that Kerr is being treated at the hospital due to an accident. Q immediately rushed away and abandoned his mission to meet Kerr, who was lying sick. He seemed relieved to learn that Kerr only suffered minor injuries. But then, Q is surprised by Big's appearance, who turns out to be the person who hit Kerr. Seeing the presence of Q in that place, Big did not waste the opportunity to embarrass him in front of the woman he loved. After that, Q returned to meet Raph and Otto, where Raph then told about the person he loved while in tears. The next day, Q and Otto accompany Raf to confess their love to someone named Mo. The three of them then visited a record store where Mo worked. However, how surprised Q and Otto were when they discovered Mo was a man. Q then opened his mission book and found that someone accidentally spilled coffee, so Mo's photo became invisible due to coffee stains. Q and Otto then went to Raf and confirmed Mo's identity to him. Knowing that Raf really loves Mo, Q then suggests that Raf immediately confess his love for Mo before he regrets it. Raf then ventured to meet Mo and confess his love for the man. Surprisingly, Mo apparently welcomed Raf's love for him, and finally, Raf felt relieved and happy because his love was not one-sided. Sometime later, Q and Joe were shocked to learn that Milk had decided to resign from the company they worked for. Q is increasingly feeling pessimistic about being able to match Joe and Milk. That night, while drinking with Otto and Tom, Q accidentally saw Otto's phone tablet, which was his mission book. Upon seeing that, Q was surprised when he discovered that Otto was on a mission to match Kerr and Big. He was desperate to steal the phone tablet so Otto could not carry out his mission. A few days later, Q invites Joe to visit Milk at his new workplace. When he finally meets Milk, Joe tries to confess his love for her. However, Joe suddenly felt heartbroken when he saw a man embracing Milk affectionately. That night, Otto came to Q's house while showing him his new phone tablet, implying that he had known about Q's actions of stealing his mission book. Furthermore, Otto then found out that Q was in love with Kerr. However, Otto is determined to continue his mission to match Kerr and Big. The next day, Q was assigned to wear a mascot costume for a photo shoot that involved Kerr as the model. It turned out to have been planned by Big, who wanted to embarrass Q in front of Kerr. After that, Q got a call saying that Joe was hospitalized for trying to end his life. Q was rushed to the hospital because he was worried about his best friend. When he finally arrives at the hospital, he is very concerned about Joe's depressed state after learning that Milk is engaged. Not long after, Milk arrived at the place to see Joe. But unexpectedly, Milk came there with her fiancé and slipped a card in the parcel she had brought for Joe. Seeing the togetherness of Milk and her fiancé, Joe became annoyed and threw them out. After visiting Joe, Q returns to the filming location to meet Kerr and asks her to wait for him because he has something important to say. However, Kerr said she didn't want to wait and asked Q to come forward immediately. Q tried to express his love for Kerr, but instead, he said words that really offended Kerr, so she left him. After that, Q had an argument with Big, who revealed that he was really in love with Kerr. At the hospital, Joe finds the wedding invitation card Milk tucked in a few days ago. Knowing that the woman he loves is about to marry another man, Joe leaves the hospital to attend Milk's wedding. The next day, Q goes to Kerr and tells her that he wants Kerr to find her happiness, even if it's not with him. Q's words indicate that he has given up Kerr so she can find happiness with another man. He then left Kerr, but Kerr chased after him and questioned his attitude, which for the past 2 years had always been kind to her and always cared about her. Q tried to express his feelings once again. Surprisingly, he can finally confess his love for Kerr. Q then felt very happy because he was finally able to express his love for Kerr, as well as Kerr, who apparently still loves him. After that, Q got a call from his former co-worker, who told him that he had succeeded in expressing his love for the woman he loves and is now dating that woman. He is very grateful to Q because he has helped him find love. Meanwhile, Kerr suddenly remembered her words to Q in the past, where she asked him to take off his clothes if he wanted to express his love for her. Without thinking, Q immediately took off his coat and shirt, even though they were in a crowd. Kerr immediately ran to Q and hugged him tightly. Q turns out to be able to express his love for Kerr because his co-worker's love story is part of his mission. However, what determines Q's success is Joe, who can express his love at the right time. Milk, who still loves Joe, cancels her marriage and prefers to be with him on the aisle. The film ends by showing the couples showing their affection in their own way. The moral we can learn from this film is never hesitate to express feelings of love to those we love, so that later we will not regret it. Don't forget to protect yourself with CyberGhost VPN. Click on the description link to get the special discount. This app will protect your data while you browse and give you full access to all blocked content on the internet for $2.23 a month only.